and she was also a patient there. And because she was always laughing, um, the uh, healthcare professionals there decided to give her ECT treatment, and where they basically put voltage through your mind or through your brain. And that was the last time I've ever seen her smile. I never saw her smile after that. That was the last time. And they, and I remember after it was done, they were all walking around, and uh, happy with the results of their actions. When she was she was really fun to be around and really nice before, and then I never seen her smile or um, after that. It was a very sad thing to see. Um, so, and that's something that you can find out more about when you do the investigation in regards to my personal medical history. And there's actually a lot more to say around there. And then and a lot of the times when I was depressed, or I was suicidal, I was prescribed Prozac, lithium, Depakote. I mean, all sorts of pharmaceuticals, and never had any. No one ever told me I had a pineal gland. I had no knowledge of ever having a pineal gland, or knew anything about that. But and I don't believe the doctors did either, because I'm sure if they did, they would have told me. But it's just you know the pharmaceutical industry is something that we really have to become much more aware of. And my Aunt Manna, my mother's sister, when she was around 6 years old, and this is coming from my mother, when she was around 6 or 7 years old, she was acting. She was gifted as a child, complete genius. She was dancing, doing acrobatics, all sorts of stuff. And then she went to the doctors, and they gave her a vaccine that from the time that she got the vaccine, from 2 days after that for the rest of her life, she had developed a speech impediment and became slow, and lived a very, very tough life. So that was and that's just personal experience that I've had with my family in regards to vaccines, and what the harm that they can really do. And I'm not saying the doctor knew what they were doing. They probably believed that they were really helping her, but it caused a lot of hardship on not only on my aunt's part, but on the whole family, and then on my aunt's offspring too, who still resides right now today in a mental ward. And that is the same aunt that had come down from the 11th dimension in the order of Melchizedek to come talk to me. So that was that's something that we need to be aware of. We need to be aware of vaccines and the harm that they do. I mean, God made us how we should be, and basically what we don't need is protection from diseases and things that don't even exist. And also with the healthcare industry, I'll just put this in there now. We want to keep the birth certificates away from the children. It is my suggestion, and you can do with it what you want, but it is my suggestion, if you are pregnant and having a child, swim with the dolphins, and then have your child at home. And that's it, just for people who know how to deliver babies. And it was already in the homework, the importance of the importance of that, but this is all statistically proven, and you know, and that's it. So basically, what I'm suggesting here for the healthcare industry is that doctors, well, all healthcare practitioners on this planet should all learn all forms of holistic medicine, health, and healthcare through the practice of sorcery. And the homework that I recommended that you do, that'll set you on a good path to learn about those things. And then, once you do learn about those things and you're familiar with them, then look back on your education, and if you have a PhD and you certified doctor and a license to practice medicine and all that, and you have not learned about the pineal gland or how to make extraterrestrial contact or the reality of psychic abilities, then what my suggestion is that every doctor, every healthcare professional on this planet do is take the Board of Education, do a class action lawsuit against the Board of Education, and ask for your money back. Every doctor, every nurse, everyone who hasn't been trained about these things, all ask for your money back, and when you do it all at once, and work in harmony with the education system when you upgrade the education system. And basically, you'd want to perform that function on a telepathic level, and require a full refund and a complete re-education of whatever the education institution was that trained you. And that's it. And then basically, when you do that, just work with the truth, clear, direct communication, common sense, and do so at a telepathic level. And so you want to do those two things prior to the day of the shift. And then the day of the shift, completely overhaul the chain of command of all hospitals and healthcare centers. And that's it. And basically, who would be in charge? Anyone who chooses to become a saint. Anyone who can communicate clearly, directly, and honestly, and use common sense, they would be in charge of the hospital. And it's recommended that you do this within each hospital. And when you're doing it, make sure all the other industries know what you're doing, and you're working in harmony with the other industries. You know, with saints and other industries. But it should be, you know, people who are communicating clearly, directly, and honestly. And when you do that, do it all at the same time, and do that all on the day of the shift. Because the people who are trying to suppress this information are outnumbered probably 200 to 1. So there's not going to be enough people to go around who are trying to prevent the evolution, to stop the people who are going to promote it. I mean, if you're using common sense. And if you're not using common sense, then I don't know what to tell you if you're not doing that. And then if there are any doctors that do not, or any healthcare professionals that after being exposed and taught at a higher level, continue to give these vaccines and poisons to mental health patients and things like that, then they would be, what you'd want to do is update the QSETI website of that and just expose that person for doing what they're doing in front of the entire planet. Because right now doctors or not all doctors, but many are giving vaccines to address a population problem on the planet when that's not the proper way to address it. The proper way to address that problem is with the economy and with a different form of energy and with actually helping these farmers plant crops instead of paying them not to plant them. But and a lot of these things boil down to common sense. But you just have to. I think the human race is under the influence of such acute mind control right now that we've all been conditioned to do whatever's on the paper when the paperwork, for the most part, is not good. And then, what you'd want to do is rewrite all the moral and ethical codes using sacred geometry, the laws of nature, creation, and the universe that the healthcare profession goes by, and do that on a planetary scale. That way all the doctors, all around the planet are working with a high level of information, regardless of what country you're in or whatever. And then you want to implement these new laws on the same day you overhaul the chain of command and change the chain of command of the hospital. And basically, once that is done and all hospitals are working at a planetary standard, a very high level of conduct, then at that point, the Board of Education, or the Board of Health, I should say, and other organizations like the Food and Drug Administration and things like that, they would then fall under the saints, the doctors who choose to become saints and live as saints. So that'll help us. That'll help the doctors. The doctors that are awake and aware of what's going on. That'll empower them to do something about these pharmaceuticals and things like that. So that'll really, just with common sense and honesty, that's really going to change how the healthcare industry works. So from that day forward, just to simplify the whole thing, how a healthcare professional would do their job is if someone needed help, you would just help them. And it would boil down to that. And sometimes it would be necessary to jump outside the box to help them, but you will have already jumped outside the box when you begin communicating clearly, directly, and honestly. So you're already there. So basically, someone comes to you for help, you would help them regardless. And then you'd also want to rewrite all the documents in the hospitals. And you'd want to rewrite the documents as far as when someone comes into a hospital and they have all that paperwork to sign. The paperwork that people at the hospitals are giving out is just ridiculous to sign. And then when you question about it, they say, well, it just means this or it just means that. Well, if it just means that, then just write that and sign that. But 3 pages of fine print means something else. There's a reason why they're doing that. So basically, just don't give anyone paperwork that's going to hurt them, because when people go to a hospital, they go to the hospital for help, and that's what you want to begin doing. And also medical records. That's a big thing. So how medical records are handled, that's got to be changed too, and that's got to be changed to a planetary, level on a planetary scale. So, and that also gets into health insurance. So basically, it would be the healthcare industry that would be in charge of overhauling the health insurance industry on the planet to ensure that everyone on the planet has health insurance and can get help when they want it, and the doctors get paid for helping them according to the highest standards the doctors are capable of. But right now, if the doctors were to begin using magic to cure cancer and things like that, well, you'd probably have your license pulled, or you'd be fired, or whatever. But we'd have to change that around. So overhauling how the health insurance industry operates and works.